At this point, somebody's really got to take Tony Khan's phone away. Guys, we're going to talk about it. He's shooting on WWE and Jinder Mahal, plus there's some new hirings for WWE and AEW. A lot coming up right here on the Ango Show. Don't forget, we're giving away this championship belt at 100,000 subscribers. So if you want a chance to win, go ahead and click subscribe. Welcome back to the Ango Show. This one is a big one, trust me. A new AEW hiring that we got to discuss because AEW has reportedly hired a former WWE employee, and it looks like this individual could potentially become the new COO for the company. Let's talk about it. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select has reported that several within AEW have been notified that Kosha Irby will be joining the company, possibly in a COO role. This comes after Irby had been the former regional director of live events for WWE, in addition to his time with the Memphis Express of the AAF as president and Clemson Tigers as executive senior associate and chief marketing officer. It's also been said that he's done some work for Georgia State, the University of South Florida, and St. Louis. Look, I don't know who this individual is, but this is a big resume, and I'm not going to try to act like this is like oh my God, this is a massive groundbreaking change for AEW, but I think there is a little bit of strategy involved here. My guess is this individual is essentially going to be taking over the role that Raphael had before leaving the company. When you see somebody with this type of resume, I mean, if you're just looking at on paper, obviously working for the WWE, it's already pretty big, and that's the reason why I'm sure there's interest there. But when you see that there's involvement with the Clemson Tigers or the University of South Florida or Georgia State or something like that magnitude, I think it's safe to say that this person has the experience and stuff like that for what you're looking for. So ultimately, at the end of the day, I will never be opposed to something like this. This is not somebody who's coming into the company, taking away screen time or anything like that. This is, support for the company on the back end of things. And especially when you look at like live events and touring and things like that, that is such a major integral part to the business. Obviously, you're trying to find different arenas and stadiums and different markets to go into. We know Tony Khan is a data guy, and if you could bring somebody in there to help you capitalize on different markets, to me, that's a win, right? And for AEW, it's important that they have experienced people, and it doesn't always have to be people within the wrestling industry, but this is an individual that apparently has experience and more than just wrestling. So that's always a good thing. I can't see this being a bad thing whatsoever. But they're not the only one with the new hiring. That's because WWE has also made a new hiring. It looks like they have replaced Kevin Dunn. So I want to talk a little bit about this too, because I find this to be quite fascinating. WWE has hired Lee Fitting as the head of media and production after Kevin Dunn's departure. This actually came straight from WWE themselves. They've released a press release today, January 9th, 2024. WWE, part of TKO Group Holdings, today announced that media industry veteran Lee Fitting has joined this company as the head of media and production. Nick Khan says that Lee is a phenomenal leader and executive known for work that generates both critical acclaim and mass appeal. Lee will be a tremendous addition to our stellar media and production team and play a key role in helping catapult WWE's growth. Fitting brings more than 2 decades of production experience to WWE. He originally came from ESPN, where he oversaw production for tentpole properties, including Monday Night Football, College Game Day, the College Football Playoff, and many other properties within the Disney portfolio. Wow, so this is somebody that actually has a background with sports. And I find that to be fascinating because obviously Kevin Dunn, I can't really say much about Kevin Dunn, really. I think, obviously he's been in WWE forever. He was in WWE forever, and that's largely due to the fact that he was one of Vince's guys. Vince is no longer there. WWE's making a change. Does this overall change WWE's potential presentation to a more sports-related approach? I don't know. That's why I think I'm fascinated by this. I really don't know what to predict here. Will WWE keep doing 100,000 camera cuts in a match? Like, Some things need to change in that regard. Hopefully Triple H and Nick Khan can kind of have a vision for how they want the product to be produced. And then hopefully this guy can help bring a nice, beautiful, positive spin to it. Because I think Kevin Dunn, for a while, like, I know it's popular in the IWC to bury Kevin Dunn. And I'm not going to sit here and act. I didn't watch Kevin Dunn in real time produce, from a production truck or anything like that. What was his true influence in WWE? You hear stories and stuff, but it's not something I actually seen him physically do. But I think the cool thing is when you bring in a new face, right? It's an opportunity to make changes that are necessary. And this is one of those scenarios where I think it could actually be really beneficial to WWE to have somebody that came from a background that did Monday Night Football and stuff like that. And I'm curious if it's going to look different to us, right? That's the real thing. Like, how different is this going to be presented to us? I don't know. Maybe nothing at all. Maybe a big change, but nonetheless, something to pay attention to. And guys, we got to talk about this. Tony Khan on Twitter. Man, oh man. Yikes. So guys, it all kind of started with Tony Khan putting out a tweet today at 4:35 p.m. A double standard. At Hook, 28-1 career record on a winning streak, calls out the champ. A logical challenge sparks online outrage. Jinder has literally lost every single match he's not in for the past year and immediately gets a title shot. Where is the rage? Hashtag AEW Dynamite tomorrow on TBS. Then he goes and follows up with a tweet. USA Network responded to a tweet from, I think, Raj Giri. And basically, USA Network just put out a tweet saying, what was the cage match rating? ? Tony Khan says, a moral victory for USA is one win more than their world title challenger, Jinder Mahal, has in the past 364 days, because it's been literally a full year since he won a match. You really put AEW in our place getting Jinder Mahal in a big match on your TV show. Do it more often. Now, of course, the internet is going crazy about this, and look, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. When I read Tony Khan's tweets, like, this literally doesn't have, like, it's not like there's no point being made. I understand Tony Khan's point, and he's clearly communicating it. The problem is, I think the one issue here with Tony Khan and going on Twitter is the fact that Tony Khan is a hypocrite. And we know why he's doing this. He's trying to rally up the troops. It's promoting. This is what a promoter does. He's trying to get people to talk about AEW Dynamite. Tony Khan and AEW can hate tribalism if they want, but this is what sparks more tribalism. And I do think it is desperate, and I do think it looks silly. And I think, you should let your fans do the talking for you. When your product is good, let the fans do the talking for you. I've said this for years. This is something I've been saying for years. This is not new. If you're a new viewer, I have said this for a very long time. Have your viewers do the talking for you. But unfortunately, for some reason, Tony Khan thinks going on Twitter actually makes him look better. I don't know. It doesn't make him look better. I've been fully admitting that AEW's product as of late has been improved. But this leaves a sour taste in my mouth because Tony Khan can talk about Jinder Mahal and he could talk about WWE's booking, but it's not like this guy doesn't put random matches together on television. He has 2 matches that are literally thrown on television for Dynamite tomorrow, and it's just thrown together. So at the end of the day, I think it's really important that if you're going to talk shit, don't be a hypocrite. I always said this. I said this years ago. I always say, don't judge the appearance of somebody else's house unless your house is clean and spotless. And the thing is, WWE's on fire. AEW's doing great, right? Both companies are doing well. I feel like AEW's starting to rebound a little bit, You're the one constantly taking shots at WWE. You don't see Triple H or Shawn Michaels going on Twitter acting like this. But you see Tony Khan do it. And at the end of the day, I actually think it makes you look lesser than them because of the fact that you're so outspoken. It's like you're begging for the attention and they're not even acknowledging you at this point. And I know this is going to bother people, but I'm just being honest with you. I feel like Tony Khan really does need to step away from Twitter. I feel like this is the type of stuff, like even if you're making a good point and that's fair, whatever, this tribalism that we speak of, I literally see it in real time. I've seen people complain about Hook and I've seen people complain about Jinder, right? I've seen it. I see it from both sides. But the problem is when Tony Khan does this in his favor, he's going to have a lot of people defend his company, and that's great. That's awesome. But when things don't go in your favor, Tony Khan, the opposite side is coming. And that's just kind of how it is. And that's why I don't think it's fun. I think if you're going to take shots at each other, you better be at your fucking A game. And unfortunately, it just doesn't seem like that's actually the case here. So, I don't think this is good. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it looks good for this company. I think there's a lot of people who haven't been booked on TV and they have incredibly great records. So don't tell me wins and losses matter. Show me that they matter. Put them on TV. And we'll leave it at that.